Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, or at the least, happy Thanksgiving week. I decided to do a themed top 10 list this week. That's on the one hand, that's the main thing I want to do is make sure it's themed. On the other, I want to pick a fight. Sometimes these lists are intended to be a bit antagonistic, and I just want to know how wrong you are about what should be on a Thanksgiving table and what your priority should be in taking that food and putting the right amount of each on your plate. So here are the top 10 Thanksgiving foods. There are other foods that you can eat. They just don't make it in the top 10. That's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I'm going to eat a lot of everything. But number 10, just barely squeaks by, green bean casserole is fine. It's fine. I guess if you have to have something green on a Thanksgiving plate to make it look as if you're not eating the worst meal or the least healthy meal of your life, it might as well be green bean casserole rather than some kind of salad or something like that. But it's not delicious. Nobody's going crazy for it. So 10 to green bean casserole. I'll have a little bit of you. You're not making it on seconds, let alone thirds. Number 9, far better tasting than the green bean casserole would be mac and cheese. And I know what you're thinking. Wait, but if it's so much better, why is it number 9? And first of all, how is it just number 9 in this list? No, mac and cheese is delicious. It is comforting and warm and ooey gooey and amazing. But for me, it just doesn't have much to do with Thanksgiving. It might be there. Maybe someone will bring mac and cheese, but it doesn't have to be there. And I don't just choose the best, my favorite foods on Thanksgiving. I'd have pizza if that's what it was. I choose the traditional foods, and mac and cheese is just a little bit of an edge case for me. Very tasty. I'll have little bits of it throughout. Number 8 is going to be a side. I wish I could rank it higher. It's just this is the way that it worked out. But cranberry sauce. Cranberry sauce is delicious. And what you should understand about me, because maybe this is still higher place than it is on your list. Not only do I appreciate cranberry sauce, but I bet that I can eat more of it than you. I bet that a lot of people will put a little bit of cranberry sauce, you know? No, I believe in a big heaping helping of cranberry sauce. It is, however, a little bit one note. It's that sort of tart, kind of sour, sweet flavor. I think it creates a great contrast to almost everything else on the plate, but it is a little bit one note, and I probably shouldn't eat as much of it as I do. There's also a secret reason why it's not a higher place, which you'll see soon. But that leaves at number 7, rolls. Now, rolls are nothing super special on their own, except maybe when you butter them, but you do need a lot of carbs at Thanksgiving. And I mean, come on, without the rolls, where are you going to get them? From just a massive pile of mashed potatoes or something? Well, yes, probably. But you also want rolls. You want sweet Hawaiian rolls. Maybe you get something else, but I want some sweet Hawaiian rolls, and I will go to those regularly. It's a nice little snack. It's a nice way to sop up gravy and all of that. So definitely need some rolls at number 7. Number 6, I'm going to shock many people by putting the traditional dessert of pumpkin pie not in the top 5. It is good, or at least it's fine. Is it really better than most other pies, though? Is it really better than apple pie or pecan pie? Is it really better than some sort of chocolate cream or banana cream or lemon meringue? Is it really better, or is it just tradition? It deserves a spot on the list because of tradition, and I'll eat it. I'll enjoy it, although you can't eat too much of it, except maybe with some vanilla ice cream, which would be delightful. But it doesn't make it in the top 5. It's nice, but there's also so many other sweet things on a Thanksgiving table. It's not like Thanksgiving is a meal calling out for dessert as much as some others. So that leaves the top 5. Number 5, we have the creamed corn, another one of those sweet things that make it so that pumpkin pie is a little bit unnecessary. I have, for most of my life, had an obsession with creamed corn, because the amazing thing about creamed corn is you are kind of eating vegetables. Kind of. It's barely a vegetable. It is not a vegetable at that point, but you're technically eating corn, and it's just delightful, and it's warm, and you could eat a bunch of it, and it's socially acceptable. So creamed corn makes it in at number 5. Number 4, I guess I have to do this in order. Number 4 is where turkey has to lie. I am not a turkey hater like a lot of people. I know some people love to say, it doesn't taste like anything, or it's always dry. Well, if you're cooking it wrong, yeah, it's not going to be great. Maybe don't cook it wrong would be my advice on the dry thing. In terms of it not tasting like anything, you are simply factually wrong. It tastes like turkey. That's why I like turkey, because it tastes like turkey. And because you can eat a bunch of it, you don't get super, super full. It goes very well with basically all of the sides, let alone with gravy. No, turkey is actually really good. It's just that, like a lot of people, I also think that Thanksgiving is about the side dishes. I think that they deserve a position of pride. So turkey makes it in at number 4. And that leaves the 3 best parts of a Thanksgiving table and a Thanksgiving plate. Number 3, mashed potatoes. That can go in a lot of different directions. You can involve a little bit of sweet potatoes in it, maybe. You can put some cheese in it or something like that. But you gotta have mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes should make up 30% of a Thanksgiving plate. And I mean for every time you go up. When you go for seconds and thirds, you gotta still have a nice big pile of mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are responsible for a significant portion of all of the Thanksgiving weight gain, and they deserve that position because they are comforting and warm and endless. You can just have so much of it. And Thanksgiving is about excess. Mashed potatoes gets that across better than maybe anything else. It's delicious. That's number 3. Number 2 might not even be on your list. I don't know. Maybe you make this, maybe you don't. But I have a recipe that was given to me by my mother. It is my cranberry, oatmeal, yam, marshmallow bake. And if it's not on your list, you gotta find something like this. Let me explain this to you, okay? So this is, by the way, mainly why pumpkin pie didn't make the top 5, because this is my dessert, even though it's not a dessert. It is cranberries, and it's oatmeal, and it's cinnamon, and it's yams, a bunch of yams, and then it's got a layer of marshmallows on the top that gets all crispy and brown and melty, and it is so good. It shares with many other Thanksgiving foods. One of the core things they need is that they are not just good when you first have them. They're good later that night. They're good the day after. They're good maybe the day after that if any remains. They have to be able to maintain quality through multiple rounds of leftovers. You make a casserole dish of this bake, and it is going to be, it'll have your back for days. It's delicious. Again, comforting, a little bit spicy. It's got that sort of fall thing to it. Just delicious. And it makes for a great dessert, by the way. But that leaves number 1. And while I've had some inclusions on my list that might be a little bit controversial or needlessly aggressive, I think a lot of people will probably agree with my number 1. You might call it something different, but it's stuffing to me. You might call it dressing. I personally think that that's what Thousand Island is. Stuffing is what Thanksgiving is about. And it's weird, if we could just stop for a second, why does stuffing really only exist at Thanksgiving? Why is stuffing not a more common thing year-round? It's delicious. It's simple to make, particularly if you like stovetop. I like stovetop. I'm going to be trying a new David Chang-inspired recipe club stuffing recipe this season. But I'm perfectly fine with the stovetop as well. And I've had a lot of different types of stuffing. It's all good. It's all good. Like with mashed potatoes, you can have an absolutely massive pile of it and feel perfectly fine. But unlike mashed potatoes, it's varied. It has different textures. It has different flavors. It's the best part of Thanksgiving. If I could only have one thing on a plate, it would be a big old plate of stuffing. Like if that was the only thing I could have. And so if you've been questioning my choices this whole time, I want you to ask yourself a serious question. If you could only have one thing on your Thanksgiving plate, what would it be? Would it actually be mac and cheese? Because you can make a big plate of mac and cheese anytime you want. Would it just be turkey? Would it just be pie? I don't think that it would be, but I think that it might be stuffing. Anyway, those are that's my top 10 Thanksgiving foods. I set out to do this top 10 list because I was hungry, and I have to admit, I am like maybe noticeably salivating right now. I am so hyped for Thanksgiving. I want to cook it, and more importantly, I want to eat it. I want to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and then go for seconds. I'm just really looking forward to this holiday. Well, hopefully you've got a good Thanksgiving plan for yourself too. As always, thank you. I'm going to give you some thanks for supporting the Damage Report and TYT, being a member and getting access to this extra content. Really do appreciate that. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you soon. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.